going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. All right, the biggest question I always get asked is, why is my Clanboss team failing? Why is my speed tune not working right? I've done everything I'm supposed to. If you're asking that question, you're probably missing something. So I want to run through a couple of the things that could possibly be screwing you up, and some things you may and may not know. So,
You seriously not following? Unbelievable.
number one is going to be masteries. Now, particular masteries such as, let's go ahead and open this up here, taking arcane celerity if they have debuffs, or taking rapid response if they have buffs, will increase, right, the turn meter boost. So that right off the bat is one of the ones you don't want to take. Other ones, oppressor, right? Definitely not one that you want to take. Usually when you're building a Clanboss team anyways, you tend to go with War Master or you tend to go with Giant Slayer. But on the off chance it's a support champion, you're like, well, I don't know, I want to use him somewhere else. Oppressor's not the one you want. And then one that people overlook quite a bit is actually Cycle of Revenge, right? On the traditional non-Demythic comp teams, this actually can screw up the speed tune quite a bit. And then sometimes, depending on the champion themselves, if you go with a Cycle of Violence, you know, it exceeds 30%, the damage exceeds 30% of the target's max HP, you could have an issue with champions like G-Nut or, you know, some other maybe enemy max HP champions on Clanboss, depending on how you build them. Or even if it's not one of those, if you're working with like a +4 ninja or something that's whatever. So Masteries is always the number one thing, right? And then the other one that can actually screw you up is on the supports taking lasting gifts. Some of the speed tunes are so specific that even just this one mastery increasing, let's say, a increased speed or a block debuffs at the wrong time because your stun target needs to have so many buffs, that can screw you up quite a bit, right? This actually was something I ran into with one of my teams where I was like, why is this not working? And it was a call out by one of the viewers, lasting gifts. And I looked at it and I said, okay, we took it off. Clanboss team started working right away. So a couple of things right there that you want to make sure you take into account with masteries. Okay, so the next one that you're going to want to pay attention to is the baseline speed, right? Now, depending on if the champion is ascended or not, and what level they are, their baseline speed will change. So let's say if you're trying to use the Mytha at a 5-star, her baseline speed is going to be different at a 5-star than it is going to be at a 6-star fully ascended, which most of the guys are going to show. And a good example of this is Electrion, right? So you can see here, his baseline speed is at 100, right? We get no nothing, right? No faction guardians or anything. We just get bare bones 100. But on the main one that is ascended, right? You're going to see here that the baseline speed now has been bumped to 110, right? So that's a 10-point difference because he's been leveled to 6-star and he's been fully ascended. He's not geared, so neither one of them have gear, right? So we're not taking any speed or anything like that. It's just the baseline. So making sure that the champion is the right level that is shown in the guide or that is shown in the speed tune is going to be one of the other things you want to take into account.
But wait, there's more.
The biggest one that I see all the time is faction guardians. And that is, you know, you're going through, you're building up your faction guardians, you're putting the champions in, you don't remember it, and you put in and you all of a sudden get +6 speed on your Bannerlords, you know, epics, your Stagnat falls out of tune or something like that. So make sure that you kind of look at back at, you know, your faction guardians and look at, did I add something into that, right? Because a lot of these speed tunes are very finicky and you need to be within 1 or 2 speeds. So I can't tell you how many times, especially players don't pay attention to this. They get excited because they pull another one and they're like, cool, I'm going to put it in, and it messes up their speed tune. And that could be done almost everywhere, right? Through any area of the game. This is always going to be a common issue until it's full.
Imagine, thinking hurts, mate. Trust me, I know. It hurts me a lot.
Since the introduction of Live Arena, a lot of us have probably put some points into Demon Lord. I haven't. I don't need to, because it's probably one of the easier areas to try to get my 1 key for my account. Not for every account, let's be honest, right? But for me, it's not that big of a deal. So I haven't put any speed in, but a lot of the times you put in that one speed and you go and you put in the Hell Hades optimizer that, you know, you're building this champion and you need him between 198, 199, and you get that build at 198, but when you build him in game, he's at 199, 200, and you're like, what the hell, I'm following everything. A lot of the times, if you're not putting in the optimizer that you have a great halt bonus, then that can screw it up, right? And a lot of the times you'll come in and you'll be like, okay, cool, I'm building up my speed. I'm just going to throw it in here. So that's one of those ones. Usually people try to keep, you know, people are trying to build it because Clanboss early game is one of the big things, but it's definitely one that can screw up with what you're trying to do. Right, so the last thing that most people tend not to pay attention to is what something's called true speeds. Now, because Lord of Steel, being percentage-wise, and some of the other stats, everything is based off of true speed. And sometimes true speed, what you might see as 191, it might actually be like 191.2 or 191.69. And so you're going to see in a lot of these speed tunes, and I'm going to use this one as an example, which is Man Seeks God, is one of the ones that I just did for a viewer. You're going to see here the speed tune for this is 191 to 191.25. And let's say, for instance, if you had Lord of Steel and you put 2 speed sets on, the optimizer might say 191, but that's not the true speed, right? So the one thing you always want to do is you want to come into Deadwood's calculator, and I'll put in the description the link to the calculator. And, you know, you want to come in and you want to make sure you put in the proper speeds. So one of the things here would be, let's say if my Maneater had 3 speed sets, I would make sure I put in 3 speed sets, because as of right now, it shows at 254. When you put the 3 speed sets in, it goes at 254.27. And if you were to use Lord of Steel, it's at 254.57. So that's another big thing right there, is making sure that you have the proper speeds done down to the true speeds if they matter. I can't tell you, I spent probably like 3.5, 4 hours trying to figure out this comp, why it wasn't working before I started building it, because some of the speeds on these comps are really, really finicky. And that goes everywhere in the game, right? That goes from Fire Knight all the way to Clanboss, maybe even some Hydra comps based on what's going on. So there's definitely a couple of other things. Do let me know if you think I missed something. I'm pretty sure I covered most of everything that people look. Lore Steel is actually one of the big ones that people overlook. They take it and don't actually understand how it works. And this is one of those things where if you take it, it could essentially mess up the run. That said, guys, if you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, consider subscribing, and do let me know down in the comments down below what you think. And make sure, if you have some time, swing by on Sunday and watch us for the Knights of Teleria podcast, where you get myself, JR Star 3, Nacho Plays 50, Gestel Gaming, Jarrett Gaming, along with Final Compachi, where we talk everything Raid Shadow Legends, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. And as always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. I'll catch you guys next time.